It's a Tuesday podcast in your house.
Oh,
guys, we just recorded a Friday podcast. It's one you got to go back and listen to. I mean,
it's really funny because you know what? There's so much we can learn. I think we taught you a lot in that episode and gave you some great ideas on how to. You know what? Those are some great ideas to bring up your.
I just don't know how I'm going to get to that. I think that one at the end I really landed on as a good one, and I don't know how I'm going to bring that to reality. You'll have to go listen to the Friday podcast to hear what that was. And guys, if you're listening now, you can go and subscribe to our podcast over on Apple Podcasts, where you can listen to this and all of our podcasts ad-free. Plus, you get bonus episodes. Where
Boner in the back. Oh, sorry, that's Tuesday, not Friday, Cat.
I think we're going to film our next bonus episode while in a hotel room in New York City on cocktails.
I like that. Not
on
with
them.
Cocktails in us.
Like they're a drug.
Yeah.
Like they're a drug. Yeah, there's actually going to be cocktails all over our body because we're going to spill. Because we're going to be so excited to record.
We're going to be so drunk. Did you order food?
Mm-mm. So your groceries?
Kind of boring. I didn't push go. Obviously, as I didn't push go. Why would I push go? I had a really interesting epiphany. I thought to myself today. How do people have multiple kids and teenagers and have jobs?
So I was at this party
Just curious.
on Saturday night, and this mother literally said, I had to quit my job because there was absolutely no way that I could deal with practices, school, all of the things that my children need from me during the hours that I would be at work. And then, let's just take an example. I know there's since the pandemic, a lot of people don't go. Office people don't go into the office as much as they used to.
And that's a problem too now because people are like, get back into the office.
Okay.
But they have a less. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So
Right.
we've got this. Okay.
Yeah.
How do they do it? So basically their kids can't participate
In anything.
Their kids just literally, they got to go to daycare in the morning.
Yeah.
And they have to stay till 6:00.
Yep.
And maybe they can do something on the weekend. Now that is probably the majority of the population does that. Not in our world. Like even my friends don't have they
Extracurricular.
they go to daycare or they have a nanny and they go to work from that time to that time. End of story. No in between. So it's really the world that we've created for ourselves.
I think they're better off.
Talk about it. What do you mean?
I feel too available.
Okay.
I feel too involved. I feel I know too much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel they have me on they have no respect for like they just have access to me.
Yeah.
I feel they are they take for granted that someone is home and they get to get driven and picked up. Like there's no thought of what are you doing? It's like, I need to be picked up. It's not like, hey, are you available? Like there's no boundary of work and it doesn't matter that I'm at work.
No. And the problem is in that case, like we say with a lot of our parenting, is that's not their fault.
No.
Right. No, I know.
It's my fault.
Our fault.
1,000%.
I totally agree. And it's funny because they will have friends that don't have this access.
No.
And they'll watch their friends get themselves to school, get themselves home.
Yeah. And they all live, by the way. Everyone lives.
And everyone lives.
No one has issues.
Where one of my kids is going to school right now, there are kids that come from outside the city and actually take a train to get to the public transit to then get to school. And they do that late at night. And in the winter, it's dark at night.
Yeah.
And they go and they do it.
My husband went there from very far too.
Mm-hmm.
And would have to leave an hour before school to get there.
So he would take the GO train.
Oh, but train, had to take everything to walk, train thing with a hockey bag and then go to hockey practice after. Let's
debrief for a second because I don't know. We were talking about this a lot too, is how did this happen?
What?
I feel like, how did this happen that we used to be able to do everything on our own? We used to be able to get ourselves to school, get ourselves home.
It was an expectation.
My mom never picked me up and dropped me off from friends' houses.
Nope.
I always took the subway.
Yep.
Never took a taxi.
Nope.
Because didn't have the money to take a taxi. Only on the public transit. Never had a phone. We never had phones and all this. How have we got so far behind that we do everything for them? I'm talking even when you ask your kids to do something these days, they will literally sometimes look you in your face and say no. And then you think to yourself immediately, and this mom's like, I could say the same thing on repeat. I should just record it and keep saying it. After every little thing that I do for you all day long, I ask you to do one thing and you say no. Or you come home and you know someone's been home for like 5 hours and you see the dishwasher and it says clean and there's dishes inside. That never would have happened at my house.
No, me either.
So what happened?
We do it for them.
Why?
Because I think, sadly, that we made working moms villains, and we made them like latchkey kids and like parents who were like, I think we made moms villains. And I think that the expectation as moms was, if you are home and present, which means cooking, putting things like doing for them, then they feel like they're being we take care of them. And you start to take care of them because you feel like a bad mom if you're not involved in doing these things. Because sometimes I still think, I'm like, how does making lunch for you equate to me being a good mom? Like, you know, but it is an expectation from when they're little babies that you take care of them. You do their, like, you actually physically take care of them because you can't parent them through love at that moment. So all you can do is survive them.
But I had my experience wasn't what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So where did I get confused?
I think in the fact that we have been raised as women to do all of these things.
No, but in my personal experience,
me too.
My mom didn't do those things.
No, I know, but I think society.
So society took over my own
all
personal
of our
experience.
TV shows, all of our things, and then we're all supposed to work on top of it. And then you're like, wait a minute, because I think you can only go based on what you are like. Why do dads not feel this way? Why do we feel this way? It can't just be women who feel like, oh my God, I have. And what do we look like a good mom is? Like, fucking Pinterest is based on a good mom. Literally a perfect mom.
But I also think a lot of dads are still, I think moms and dads are coddling kids these days in a way.
1,000.
But
I think we lead the charge in it. I think we are the leaders in this problem because we set the tone. And then I feel like a lot of men like follow suit. Rather than us being like, I don't think we have a plan on how we raise children. I don't think we talk about it. I don't think there's like, literally why the common parent was made was because I feel like no one teaches you, oh, you have to go from caregiver to parent. And no one says, oh, now you have to parent. And you're like, pardon? I have to parent these people? What does that mean? We go from like taking care of them to raising them, and that's a very weird transition.
Wish there was like a law that when they got to a certain age, you no longer are allowed. You'll be arrested if you undo the dishwasher, if you do their dishes, if you do their laundry. Like, you are no longer at a certain age. Like, the laws of the world are, you get to a certain age where you're capable enough to do it. You should be doing it for yourself.
Yeah, and I think a big struggle in our house, and I kind of see my husband's perspective now. It took me a long time, is that he's like, this is a shared space. Mm-hmm. Why do you get to walk in and leave your pajamas on? Like, why do I have to pick up your shit?
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't. But you're like, but this is my house too.
Yeah.
So like the shared space is like, if you're with roommates and they go and fucking leave all their shit everywhere and you're the one always cleaning, you're going to be like, and you pay the same rent. You're going to be like, this sucks because this is my space too.
But what's the difference? Because I never would have done that in my mom's house.
Exactly. Because your mom would have fucking yelled at you. And
so our generation is a lot less. You know what it is too? And this is what someone has said, is that we have learned so much about children's emotions, mental health, the society on them. So we don't want to add to all of the issues that we now know that they have. So we want to protect them by making their lives a little easier while they're under our roof and under our wing.
And then we know everything on top of them about every single detail.
But like, we never talked about that kind of stuff before. So now it's like we've overcorrected.
Yeah, we have overcorrected. We went too far. We've all gone too far.
It doesn't mean that you shouldn't take into consideration mental health and the pressures of the world, but you shouldn't make their lives so cushy that they start to not know how to do things.
I don't know
And it's universal.
Well, I said to someone today, like, this is
Sorry, I won't say it's universal. Sorry. It is very common with the people that we talk to. And even like not even just saying living in Toronto, but like.
That's why I said, what would that Italian mom do? I don't know. I can feel that I think it's sometimes that we become too available to them. And that means that you become intertwined in them and their emotions. And there is a time that they have to learn how to manage some things without you being available. And that's a really big problem with cell phones and iPhones right now, is because if they're feeling something, they can contact you and then work through it rather than having to hold on to it and save it for the end of the day and then tell you. But by then they've already worked through it and thought about it. When they tell you, it's immediate, it's responsive, and it's like, if you don't get back to them, we're like, oh my God, it's our kid, I got to get it. Where before it wasn't like that. And so I said,
like literally last night, one of my kids went to their friend's house. When they got there, they said, I feel weird. And I know what that means.
Yeah.
And originally I had said, you will wait to go home with someone else.
Yep.
I was like, I'll come get you right now.
That's safety though.
But the weird feeling wasn't the feeling of the house.
Okay.
I think it was because he was anxious for today.
Got it.
But he didn't recognize the feeling. But if he didn't have his phone,
he could have texted you.
He would have waited till that other person picked him up and brought him home.
Yeah. And I just feel like this is the massive downfall of being, I feel like they don't have to, and I think that's why there's so many problems on Snapchat and on, because they want to fix it now. They want to see a response. They can't handle that there's a problem. They don't have to sit on it. They don't have to nothing has to hold. And when we were younger, we had to hold, deal with it, wait on it. And then I don't think I called my mom once from school. Not once. I don't think I could contact her during the day.
No.
Even if I wanted to go to someone's house after school, I would have to go find a payphone, hope I wouldn't get in trouble for going to that person's house, and then call and then make arrangements or make it ahead of time. So I really do feel like I said I have to step back here, and I have to, unfortunately, sometimes your children have to. It might not be the right decision, but you kind of have to be like, yeah, that sucks. I'm really sorry about that.
You absolutely do. My daughter, it's fine. She knows this. She's honest about this. There is a bus that is at the end of our street that takes her like a public transit bus that will take her literally to her school. Like, it's the easiest route you could ever imagine. But someone's been available to drive her. So obviously she has used that. I said, that's enough. Today's the day. You're taking the bus from now on. This is ridiculous.
Okay. What made you feel that way?
This is ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's like 2 blocks.
Plus her brother, who's so much younger, is about to learn how to take it a lot further.
Yeah. Okay.
This is ridiculous.
Okay. She's like this, but wait a minute.
So I taught her the things that she needed. Like, there's a few things that I feel like that I haven't done for her to make her. So I taught her how to use a calendar, put all your shit in the calendar.
I remember that. That was the day.
Put everything in the calendar. Then how to get a thing for the TTC. And then I got her the app. I showed her how to do it. I'm like, now it's you. Because you certainly know how to figure out how to go way downtown on the subway to go shopping.
Now it's you. And, part of them are smart enough to they can manipulate you at a very young age. And I don't mean like a serial killer.
No.
I mean, they know how to get what they want because that's how smart they are. And they know exactly what to do. So by her not knowing, she knew that then she is smart enough to know that you probably didn't want to teach her. And so she's like, because you'd probably fine, I'll fucking drive you. But if she kept saying, I don't know.
She tried to walk away from the teaching 5 times yesterday. I knew if she walked away, she would say, well, we never really figured out how to do it.
That's how smart they are.
So I was like, get back here. She kept walking away.
Because she knew.
She didn't want
she's like, my mom she does what you do, which is amazing.
Yeah, or more her dad will go get her. I mean, we'll take her. Or her grandma.
I can't believe he isn't like, hell no.
I feel like he feels like hell no.
But it's too much work to say.
I think he also, although he argues with her, I feel like he has a soft spot for her. And I don't know if it's because she's a girl or what it is. And I think that there must have been something nice about them driving together every morning in the car.
Is he sad about it?
No, I don't think he actually knows that he liked it.
He just liked the connection of it.
But
Maybe.
I don't even think he knows that he did, but I think he did.
I think the first step is realizing that, I think the first step is realizing like when you're too entwined.
And you know what the hard part is sometimes for us as moms?
What?
Is that although we know it's time for them to fly, when we know that when we teach them, that part of what we had with them will probably be gone.
Yeah.
And they're little building blocks, right? But
Yeah.
it has to be that way.
Yeah.
Like you teach them how to transport themselves around the city. They're going to get used to not asking you anymore. And then you won't have that time with them. But that's what parenting is.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and I think about just letting that one take the TTC to school. He will become more of an independent person just in that teaching.
He became one last week when he went away.
And I'll lose him, my baby, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's going to really be a thing.
Right.
That's okay. I'm just saying, every time we push them to do their own thing, we lose a little bit of the baby.
But we gain an independent fucking adult.
Which is our job.
Which is what I'd
Which is our fucking job.
And then, I do think that we also, as adults, but I was going to say that emotionally, I think you can be physically too involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can be emotionally too involved. Mm-hmm. And then I think you can like carry them and their problems too far.
Oh, for sure. And don't you also feel like so many moms don't want to teach, like they might not even realize they're doing it, but they don't want to teach the independence because they don't want it to be gone.
Yeah.
So they hold on because like, I'm just thinking about one mom in particular, or a lot of moms you might know that maybe they don't work and their life is their kids. If they go and teach their kid to be independent, what will be their purpose?
I know.
And that's really hard. So if you keep them addicted to you, then you still have a job.
Yeah. I'm.
And that's hard as a mom.
Oh, well, yeah. And I think also we, as parents, you do the best you can. And then hindsight kicks in. You're like, like, COVID was a real mind fuck for a lot of us because they were on hold for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I think that we still have that as part of our narrative. Like, well, they're COVID kids, because I still heard that like recently because of COVID, they're this, which is true. But, we have to like rip the Band-Aid at some point and be like, okay, that was then. And now let's move the fuck on.
It's actually true, right? I mean, we can say it's sort of like when everyone was like, your kid is behind in school, but it was COVID. But I'm like,
nobody cares anymore.
Nobody cares.
Nope.
And just giving the excuse that they're behind.
The curriculum's the same. They didn't change a curriculum.
And you know how you said that you found out through your school that the kids missing that ability to get along and share and all of that. Apparently, that is still a really big thing. Like a lot of kids are really jerks to each other.
Yeah, because they missed 2 years when they were young and how to do it. Mm-hmm. I told you my class went back to kindergarten fundamentals, and also how they interpret other people's behavior. Mm-hmm. So when you're I think why Olivia's having such a hard time, and it's been fucking 3 days, is because she's been cohorted since she was in grade 5, which means you were not allowed to talk to other people. You were not allowed to go interact with another class. You were not allowed. And then, so they put them in these bubbles, and you'll see in the classroom now, a lot of them won't interact with the other classes because they don't know that they can freely go play with each other. So they think, oh, I'm with that person only in my class. So now that she's in high school, she's like, well, I'm not with anyone. I'm like, you're with everyone. Like, you see them at lunchtime. Like, it's no longer like but it's really hard to not be with one class all day. It's funny that you say that, because also when I asked, one of your kids how the first week was, and it was quote unquote terrible. And the reason why, I asked another kid, that kid said the same thing, and it's the exact same reason. Yeah, because they miss being predictable with one group of people where that's what they've known for so long. And if they can't be with that support system that helped them through a really hard time, then they just feel like naked. Yeah. So I'm like, it's going to be a huge growing year for her. But I do think that I'm like, that is a fallout that she got to be so cocooned for so long. But they don't realize is it was like great, but it was terrible too, because it was so like, so micro.
The mom said to that mom when she said, you know, he's not happy because he's not with his people.
Yeah.
The other mom goes, oh, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And she goes, are you suggesting that I make a class change or move schools? I'm like, she goes, here's the two options. He's going to change his attitude or he's not.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's what I said. I was like, you're going to learn. You're not going to hang out. And you know what? Shock, you'll meet new people. If you have 6th grade 9 classes, you have 10 friends, you could have a lot more if you just opened up the world, you know? So,
I know. And the classic is they'll be like, but all the other people are weird in my class.
Yeah. Or they all have friends.
And she goes, she said to her son, you're fucking weird.
Yeah.
Go find some weirdos.
No, I listen, I am like, I feel that. I feel that. My little one could go run around with everybody right now. She could go to
she can move to another country with another language.
Yeah, no, I don't know honest to God, I don't know the answers. All I know is I think sometimes you just have to check in with yourself and be like, am I happy with the way things are? And if you're not, change it. Don't blame them.
It's really true.
Teach them.
It's really true.
And then stick by it. Because if you want things to change, you can't just yell at them for not, because you didn't teach them how to do it.
And we're allowed to complain about our kids to other
Oh my God,
moms.
I don't think you're complaining.
No, but you're allowed to be like, my kid like this, but it's okay to do that. But then you also have to realize that as the adult in the family, you have to help them make a change.
Yeah, unless they don't want to. Unless they just want to complain about it. Because I think some people really do like doing everything.
It's a habit.
They love doing everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, the parents.
Yeah. And they like to complain that they're not doing anything. But, you know, my kids don't empty the dishwasher, and they fucking should. But my husband does it every morning, and they know it. And they sit there and wait for their breakfast. I was looking at you, fucker. Can I have a glass of water? No. Get a glass of water.
You know what? That is the craziest.
And then Chloe's like, this water. And I'm like, go get it.
You knew when you sat down, because you know when kids have a bite of food, they're immediately thirsty like they've been in the desert for 40 years. Every time you sit down and eat, you're going to want water. So don't sit down at the table until you have your glass of water.
I lost
nothing's changed here.
I was impatient at the end of the day last night. I was like just impatient just because I feel like sometimes they ask constantly for like ask at. Like they want to tell me every thought. I don't need to know every thought. I really don't. You have friends. Go call them. Like you don't need me. Go get your own. And I feel badly because you're supposed to like want to be involved. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't need to know. So I was just done because everyone was just like, Dad's there. And it's just like barf on you. It wasn't even emotional. It was just like stupid. It's like they don't want to think. It's like, where's my backpack? I don't fucking know where your backpack is.
I don't use your backpack.
No, I'm glad you feel safe enough to ask me where your shit is, but go find your fucking backpack.
What I'm going through right now is, maybe it's an age. So many questions. Can you imagine today just hearing on the radio anything about 9/11? Do you know how many questions I had to field this morning?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I really hope they tell you something at school, because I understand there are a million questions. But it's the morning and I don't have time.
It's the little one.
I don't have time.
He asks you questions. He doesn't stop. He has too much access to you. You know what? It's time to shut the door.
Many questions, and often I just go, I don't know. I don't know what the minutes between the first plane and the second plane were. I don't know. Was there blood all over the cockpit? I don't know everything.
And he wants to know everything.
Gonna have to learn how to Google.
I go ask your teacher.
I know. I love that. Ask your teacher.
Oh my
Teachers
God, great
know
one.
everything.
Go ask your teacher. Go ask your teacher. They'll know everything. So I was like just done. I kind of lost my shit, and then I had to apologize to Chloe. I'm like, listen, I'm really sorry. I was impatient. I feel sometimes tired at the end of the night, and when I ask you to do something like go to bed, and you don't do it, it's frustrating for me. So I'm like, I'm really sorry. And she's like, And I was like, okay, fuck, I'll lie down with you because that's what we do every night. Oh my God, another problem. Haven't kicked that habit yet. It's a problem, Natalie. Something's got to change in this house.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what?
Is it going to change?
We need to go back on tour.
Yes.
Leaving for extended periods of time, I think, is helpful for everybody.
You're so...
We just need to get the fuck out of Dodge.
you know what? I was like doing an office where there's no cell service, where you go into and no Wi-Fi.
A bunker.
Like if we were recording right now in real world, like in most people's world, there would be no access because the creatives need to get their shit done and really get it done. But when we're home, it's like, I don't know what they think I do all day. Do they think I'm waiting for them to...
I think that they've watched us be very good multitaskers.
Also, my daughter used to not be able to have her phone. She can have her phone this year. Only at lunchtime or something. She's like, I actually don't love that I'm allowed to have it. But I'm like, what happens if you're on it, like texting people? She's like, no. You're not allowed to do that. I
totally don't think that they should have, like, he goes, we're allowed to have it. When I said, how do you have a picture? We're allowed to have it. Why the fuck are you allowed to have it? You know what my principal says? They'll have a phone in their life. They get to a certain age where they need to learn how to self-regulate. So is it our job to like do yada yada, or do they need to learn when I don't use my phone, I'm able to concentrate a lot more?
That's so weird. And I think this is like a common parent topic, because we should get an expert in on it, because there was a study, and I read it, that said the percentage of kids that are distracted by it just being out on the desk without even picking it up.
Yes.
Their performance goes down by just being there versus it being away where no one else can have it, because you're even distracted about, and these children,
adults are.
But I'm saying these children, as they should be, are so self-consumed that when they see maybe two people going like both on their phone, they're probably thinking they're talking about something about someone in this classroom, or talking about me, and and they're going back and forth, and you're just distracted by what that person's doing by the phone, by what they're doing. So for a 13-year-old, not even 13-year-old, they don't have that maturity to be able to be like, well, I do better without it here. They're like, I get it. And Snapchat should be blocked in schools. Use it for Google. Fine. Research something. You have a computer though. Why do you need your fucking phone?
And I also think like messages, because they don't use those as much. Like texting. That's reasonable.
Yeah, on your computer. You can do it on your computer. Yeah. Yes.
Just you can text. Texting is communicating. Where are we going to go for lunch? You know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But social media apps, they're not just going on there to like just chitty chat. They're wondering what everyone else is doing.
He's allowed it.
That's what he said. We'll see. Maybe they have the same philosophy.
Wow.
You know, that school, nada.
Mine?
The ones ours go to. Our same boys.
Oh,
nothing.
No, you better not even have one.
Don't even own it.
It's against the religion.
The laws.
It's the law. Yeah, you better be
But
able.
that makes sense.
Well, guys, thanks for listening.
Oh my gosh, guys, happy Tuesday or whatever day you're listening.
So much to
unpack. Parenting is hard.
Can you all give us therapy? Thanks. That'd be great.